We are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
All right, you two cutie pies. Let's see. Wait. Okay, you just told me that you ladies are sisters.
Yes.
You're the baby over here on the left that was bullying your big sister in the pink.
Yes, that's right.
Anyway, what's your name?
Willa.
Willa and
Ellen.
Now, tell me what you know about people my color, brown-skinned, who were
Indigenous people.
To where? To what land?
To America.
All right now.
States.
And you know that as a little girls, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
All right. I just want to thank you both. Where did you say the Indians were from? Where you were?
We have Abenaki up in Vermont.
Okay, and
we have the Penobscot in Maine and the Mashantucket.
Yeah, okay. All right, ladies. Well, I want to thank you for that. It's just good to know. Because I was born in the 60s. They know. Yeah, we were taught that. You said everyone should know?
Yes.
All right, ladies.
Yes.
You girls, you're two good girls, and you got to stop bullying your your big sister. Okay. Have a good day.
Okay.
I have got to get this. And now you said you're a veteran?
Yes.
And what have you learned about the indigenous Indians of this land that's my color, copper color?
It's world history and U.S. history. So, and then the people of color were from the northeast part of the world here in New England area, in Buffalo area. So
awesome.
And that's pretty much.
Yeah, my family's Cherokee.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Why you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people that wouldn't even claim you as one of them.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not no African.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering when they accustomed to talking talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day. And when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turning to morning dew. Then you let's face it, baby, you know all the places. My place is your place. My place, your place, my place. Just face it, no one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. Like you do. Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock, we in our own zone. Make yourself at home, get to know mine on the inside. You need a yours next.
Oh yeah, y'all. Oh yeah, I'm back here. I'm back here. Smash the like button, y'all. We're gonna get really, really deep in today's segment. How y'all doing this morning? Good morning. I'm a little tired, but I'm all right. Stephanie Burke, Rising Aboriginal, Bronx Flat Power, Talking with Tight Sim, The Perfect TM, Cocaine on the Wood Grain, The Realist, N-Word Alive, Not a Coincidence, Hello Officer Coincidence, How are you? The Realist, Darius Matthews, Lady Moon, Crazy Overstanding, Good morning, y'all. Smash the like button. Thank y'all so much for smashing the like button. After today's segment's over, I am going to do the redirect to App Power. But I just want to, I'm back here just uploading 2 more things that I need you guys to see. So just give me a minute. Then I'm almost done and I'll be turning my camera on. Oh, wrong thing. I got to get where I'm supposed to be. All right, where are we? Okay, we got that. And we got to get one more up here. One more thing up here. This one. All right, I think I got everything. I got my food cooking slow in the oven. I'm not going to tell you what it is because y'all Negroes. Y'all Negroes. I'm not no damn. Hey, Adrian. Tom Jones. All right, now. Let me get this banner down. Chief Holiday gave me that. Thanks, Chief Holiday. Thank you. Thank you. So, oh, God, the camera is so dull. Let me fix it. It's the lighting. It does that all the time. But I got to play around with my green screen to get the lighting fixed right. But that's okay. It'll come in when it get ready. This damn camera got a mind of its own. So, mic check. Mic check. Y'all can hear me? Good. Good. We're going to get into some stuff. So, first, I want to say, shout out to both YK The Truth and PNF for the debate yesterday. It was a little too long for me. I mean, debate should only be an hour, seriously. And then after that, talking points with everybody. We done already heard them before. 2 goddamn hours, almost 3 hours debating. But I'm saying debates just need to only be a fucking hour long. Serious. And then after the hour, then everybody come up on the panel and just talk about it. All that other shit. I watched the entire debate, but then I didn't stay for the questioning. I left. It was enough for me. And I didn't want to vote at all because I'm not voting to say, oh, you're right, because I'm African. No. I voted for YK because I think he did an excellent job proving that Moors are Africans. Get my little gel up here. My little gel. Look at that. It's coming up. It's the morning. What the hell? I voted for YK The Truth because he proved that his information that he had proved that Moors are Africans. And that's what I was, based on my own research, I, was coming up with the same thing, that these people are indeed Africans. There was no proof of Moorish Empire here. It's just not. I'm sorry. I don't see Moor as a descriptive term. I see it as an actual racial classification of people. And it's proven over in Africa that they are. And it is what it is. But that's my personal. Other people have their own opinions. That's what I'm standing on, that Moors are African. And everybody, like I said, everybody else has their own opinion. That's my opinion. It truly is. So a few housekeeping rules. A few housekeeping rules. And moderators, when I get a little annoyed with people in the chat, I don't mind them responding and giving their personal opinions. But when they get to the character assassination and downgrading, moderators, use your wrenches to time them out. Okay. I see the new feature when you're timing people out with your cell phone. You get to pick 24 hours or hour. So I'm going to ask that. You just time them out for the, what is it? Seconds. Don't time them out for 24 and hours. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're using your cell phone, you have that feature. Don't time them out for 24 hours because it's not what they say is not that bad to the extent that they need to be timed out for 24 hours from my live segment. But if they're acting up, time them out for like the 5 minute, the 5 minute, which is cool. Because timing them out for 5 minutes will give them a chance to redirect their behavior within the 5 minutes that they're timed out. I generally don't like to just somebody for 24 hours. Now, as moderators, I know you have personal dislikes for certain people, but that's cool. But as my moderators, I'm just going to ask you to time them out for 5 minutes. And if they keep acting up, just keep continuing to time them out for 5 minutes until they learn how to respond like adults and respect other people's, and including myself, respect my literature. I'm serious. You don't have to accept my literature, but you can certainly respect it. That's all I'm saying. So smash the like button. Now, another thing, one of the biggest things that we have to understand here in YouTube, based on people's behaviors and anger. Number one, when you have a foreigner, and foreigner could be anybody. Foreigners are not just white people. You got to understand that. Foreigners come in all shades, colors, and creeds. All right? So when you get foreigners that come in here and they're angry, it's because you have to understand foreigners stand on their own indoctrination, and they stand on U.S. history. There's a difference between U.S. history and mainland history. When you're talking United States history, and people are saying, you can be Aboriginal to the United States. You can. You can be a United States citizen. There's a difference between the United States and the continent, the North American continent. It's two different things, and that's what you have to understand. And you have to understand that this is something that they did not teach in U.S. history, that there's a difference between the 50 states and the actual North American continent. That's two different things. And they didn't teach you that in U.S. history, because U.S. history is United States history of what took place on this continent. United States. That's not United Continents. It's United States. It's a country. It's what took place in a country on the North American continent. It's not the entire continent. You have North, Central, and South America. What took place in the United States? Okay? The history of the United States, there's only 50 of them motherfuckers. It's not the same history as Jamaican, which is an island on the North American continent. Same thing. What happened in United States, the 50 states, is different from other areas on the continent. United States, the 50 states, which consist of a government, and 50 states, which are headed over by governors, they don't have anything to do with British colonies on the islands owned by the British, Jamaica being one of them. Our records are not their records. The records in the 50 states have nothing to do with the records that were kept in Jamaica. That's a fact. The United States government did not oversee the records in Jamaica. That's their own shit. by their British government and then becoming their own independent selves. Jamaica, we have nothing to do with the upkeeping of their records. We can only go by what their government have them identified as. So you got to understand that. So now, those are some cleaning rules that I want to get in. So I also want you to understand when we were talking about the setting up during Reconstruction, the setting up of the militia districts, they are. Let's just go there. Let me look it up. All right. I got to pull this up so you can see. All right. So first, let's just do this quick Google stuff. Let's do this. Militia districts. Oh, damn. And then we're going to get into some deep talk, man, that we need that's going to help you. This is all my whole purpose is to use every tool that I could use during my lifetime of working in, the 50 states. Use every tool I can use to help unindoctrinate you from U.S. history. But let's just look at a few basic things. Militia districts, took place during the colonial period. Georgia counties were divided into militia districts for the purpose of organizing a military company to defend the area from Indian raids or other threats. You got to just think about that for a minute. Now, when we're talking about Georgia, that's a colonial district. But you got to understand this. This is the most important thing you got to understand. The whole entire area known as Georgia was not all of the land owned by colonizers. They only had a specific area of Georgia. It wasn't the whole entire Georgia during the colonial periods. So they set up militia districts to keep Indians from coming in there with their shit. They had to. Now, they had to set up some type of forces. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Empress. They had to set up anywhere. Remember, let me pull this up. All right. Now, let's look at this. The 13 colonies after the Revolutionary War became 13 states. All right. Now, yes, they have them highlighted, but each colony, they didn't have the entire New York. They didn't have the entire Pennsylvania. They didn't have, these are the 13 colonies. They didn't have the entire New Hampshire, the entire Connecticut, the entire Delaware, the entire area known as North Carolina, the entire Massachusetts, the entire New Jersey, the entire area known as Maryland, the entire South Carolina, the entire Rhode Island, the entire Pennsylvania, the entire Virginia, or the entire Georgia. They only had pieces of land and they gave them the name. Like, for instance, South Carolina. They only had Charleston, South Carolina. That's it. There's other areas of South Carolina that they had that they didn't have. The rest of the fucking state. How about that? They only had the area known as Charleston. So, in Charleston, South Carolina, they set up their militia districts using the people that were there, that consisted of the colonial people that moved into Charleston and Indians that didn't mind staying. Now they set up the militia district to keep Indians from raiding those areas. This is why I say to you, it makes sense for you to understand. And it's clear that when they had these 13 colonies, just because it said Georgia, they didn't have the entire Georgia area known as Georgia. They just had a specific area in Georgia. And I'm going to show you this. Let's get back to this. During the colonial period, Georgia counties were divided into militia districts. Remember, for the purposes of organizing a military company to defend the area from Indian raids or other threats. Now, when you see this, you automatically know they didn't have the entire Georgia. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had to set up militia districts to stop Pookie and Ray Ray from coming in there saying, this ain't y'all motherfuckers' land. Get your. They had to set up militia districts to protect the specific territory in Georgia where our chief said you can have. But our chief, you can have this land, but I don't know what you're going to do about Pookie and Ray Ray coming in there checking you and shit and scaring you and threatening you. You got to do something because the chief couldn't control Pookie, but for so much. He couldn't control Pookie, Ray Ray, and Little Man. He didn't have that kind of control. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had to create militia districts to protect the little territory they had in Georgia. One being Wilkes County, Georgia. There were Indians that lived there, and it was hard to get the Indians off because they were like, I ain't fucking leaving my house. I'm not leaving. The chief sold that particular area of land, supposedly. I ain't never seen no fucking bill of sale, but anyway. So they had to set up militia districts from people coming from Atlanta. Indians was coming from Atlanta and the Wilkes County. And then they'd be like, yo, my cousin live over here. Who the fuck you supposed to be? Just my, the shit that we do. So I'm trying to unindoctrinate you from this. You got to get the picture out of your head, thinking that they had the entire. It's just because it was 13 colonies. Didn't mean they had the whole state. Hey, listen here. What you have to understand, they only had little pieces of land in each of those states. They didn't have the whole South Carolina. Number one, the Catawbas and the Cherokees and the Creeks wasn't having it. You was getting dealt with. They only had Charleston. That's it. Now, let's look at this monster. Let's just look at this. Here's what you need to know. First, these are all the 50 states that became part of the little system that they created of 13 colonies. Obviously by force, because there were wars. And a lot came about of this. Now, you got to understand. And understand this. Clear your head now. We control our shit. Otherwise, you would not see shit like this. That's how we was rocking. It was whites separated from coloreds. You're in history. They lead you to believe that only whites had this shit up. Whites was taking care of their own people all through these 50 areas of the states, let's say, of this landmass. Whites was doing their own shit, and we was doing our own. Understand that. Help wanted, whites only. So when they were creating jobs, they was doing their own thing for their own people. And I'm not knocking them for that shit. They didn't want to hire no Indians. No, white only. And we got our own water fountain up. Only white people could drink out of this. But hold on now. So did we. Betty Jean said, who that man be? Oh, we don't serve no white folk here. You got to get on out of here. We serve colored only. It was tick for tack. Tick for tack. Tick, 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 tack. That's how it was. We held up. We did our own shit. We had our own restaurants. White people had their own restaurants. And look, ain't nothing wrong with that. Facts. That's seriously. That goes to show you. And you got to understand. The very thing you need to understand is that in these 50 states, now, when you take the whole Alabama, let's look at each state from a whole section perspective, like the state of Alabama. There was an area in Alabama, okay? Matter of fact, let's do it this way. I think it's more easier. Let's go back to when it was just 13 colonies. When you're in like New Hampshire or any of these 13 colonies, they only had little areas of land. Now, in each of those areas, wherever they are, there was a culture already there. Listen to me, y'all. There's already cultures. Each state, because we was all over the North American mainland as a people. We, who they see as the copper-colored people, the Indians, the Aborigines, let's just say that, from the soil, who are the people from the soil. You better believe in each of these 50 states. Now, let's talk about the entire area of each state. The entire area of each of these states, they have a culture that never left. Never left. And it was Aborigine culture. Each state still maintains to this date Aborigine culture. And I'm going to show you. Aborigine culture is the Indian culture in every state that still exists today. And I'm going to prove this to you. When you're talking to someone in New York, don't they sound totally different from somebody from Alabama, the southern states? When you hear people talk in New York, that's accent in New York. That's an Aborigine accent. It is not a white man accent. No. It's an Aborigine accent. When you hear Mayor Adams talking and you hear rappers from New York talk, that's the original accent of the Aborigine. If my family emigrated with an E from South Carolina to New York, right? They come to New York with their Aborigine accent from the South, but then they have their children in New York and they grow up. And guess what? We've grown up and have been shaped, formed into the culture of the Aborigine of New York. Like me, prime example. All my family is from South Carolina. There's an accent in South Carolina, South Kakalaki. That's an original Aboriginal accent. Seriously. So now my ancestors moved to Connecticut, Quintucket, in 1929. So I'm born in 66, raised, and took on the culture of the original Aborigines in Connecticut. I sound like them when I speak. That's not a white man's accent because they only had a little portion of land in Connecticut. All the other people that lived outside of the colonizers' little piece of land were Indians. And I lived amongst the Aborigines of Connecticut. And I now have their accent. I don't have the accent that my nanas came from the South with. I've took on the customs and likings, and I've been formed into the way that the Indians in the North communicate because it's Pequot territory. It's Pecusset. So I speak like them. That's why I don't have a Southern accent, because I moved in a different Indian or Aborigine territory. And I grew up like these Indians here. I grew up like these Indians here in the North. So I talk like them. I don't have my Nana's Southern Indian accent. I act like a Northern Indian because I live in the North amongst the Indians that have been here for thousands and that are from this soil. So I talk like them. Here's a little baby born in Pequot, Pecusset territory. So I'm growing up with all these Indians here, and I speak like them. I talk like them. I learn like them. I live the life like them. Give me a 1 if you understand that Aboriginal cultures are in each of these states. If I'm in Detroit, there were Aborigines in Detroit. There were Aborigines in Detroit. So if you're moving from Alabama and Mississippi to Detroit, you're bringing that Aboriginal culture from Mississippi to Detroit. And now you talk and sound a lot like the Aboriginals that was in Detroit because it's mixed in with Southern accent. So now I live in Detroit and I sound like the Aborigines in Detroit because my family came from Alabama. So now I'm formed and shaped and accustomed like the Detroit Aboriginals. Detroit had Aborigines. That's anywhere in these 50 states. If I'm born and raised in Connecticut. Now, I talk just like those Pequots in Connecticut, those Percusses in Connecticut, those Padnocks in Connecticut. I talk like, I'm so culturally like them. I've been shaped and formed, and took on the likings and development of the Indians in the northern culture. Of the northern. More you go north, the more I sound like all these damn Indians that are up in Rhode Island. Let's start from the top. Maine, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. We all sound alike. And then when you get to New York, you know, you in Boston. That's an Aboriginal accent. Boston. Niggas, Boston. I live in Boston. That's how them niggas talk in Boston. Them Aborigines in Boston. White people took on our customs. We didn't take on theirs. I live in Boston. So now I talk like a Boston Aborigine. Now, I live in New York. Now I'm talking like a goddamn New York Aborigine. New York. That Shinnecock. What? New York. I'm in New York. You ever hear A1 talk? You hear YK the Truth talk? All of them have Aborigine accents. I live in New York. So when you hear a New York Aborigine talk, and then you hear a Boston one further up north, those are Aborigine accents, not white man accents. They come and take on the customs and ways of speaking from their own original language. So if you have a Jewish person that speak Jewish, right, and they're speaking in English, they have their Jewish accents, the original Jewish accents, mixed in with the Aborigine of New York, the Bronx. So when you're speaking to a white Jewish person, it's the Bronx. They're speaking their Jewish accent, original Jewish accent, but it kind of sounds like the Aborigine of New York, because they have no choice. You had to learn how to speak the way the Aborigines spoke in New York, in the Bronx. It's the Bronx. They had their Jewish accents, but it was mixed in with the Aborigine of the Bronx. So you hear white people, white Jews, they have an accent. That accent is not from Israel. That accent comes from living amongst the Aborigines of the Bronx. So when people hear me talk, they kind of get confused with, oh, she from New York. The southern, our southern family bloodlines, Aborigine, automatically know you're from there up north, ain't you? Yeah, it's because of my accent. I took on the culture of the northern Aborigines. Damn, you ain't from the South. No, I'm not from the South, but my great grandma is. Okay. So you grew up in the northern states. Yeah, but here's the one fucking thing. I understand my southern brothers and sisters when they talk. So if a white person came from anywhere in Europe, right, and they're going to come and take a census in their territory that they bought in Alabama, and there's Aborigines that live in that territory. They ain't gonna, Sister Betty, could you come with me? Because I have a hard time understanding, even though they're speaking English, I don't understand what they mean. So could you go around with me in Alabama? So we walking around in Alabama and we walking around in Mississippi, me and the white census taker. Hey, Miss Jones. Hey there, how you doing? How you doing? Hey there, how you doing? Can you name all the people in the house? We just want to know how many people live in, so that when we go for money from the federal government, they can disperse it to our municipality. Yeah, sure it is. Betty G, Betty Ann, Lula Mae, and all them white people can't understand that shit. Oh, Betty Ann, Lula Mae, and Little Man there, and Moonhead. Yeah, they all live up here, right down here. You know, over there, over yonder, right there. And you know what I'm saying? They don't understand that shit. That's Indian language. Yeah, that down there. He be right back here. He got to go down there and fetch some damn water. He be right back in here in the house. The white person is standing there like a fucking deer with headlights. Oh my God. You understand this lady? Yeah, I do. She said, little man went down to fetch some water. He'll be right back. How did you get that out of that? I didn't hear her say that. That's what she said. Yeah, they be right back down there. They went down there to the end and fetch some damn water. They be right there. The little man, they all just run around. That is Aborigine culture. I could come from the north and clearly understand my Aboriginal sisters and brothers in Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina. I can understand them, even though I'm from the north, because I'm Indian. I'm Aborigine. We understand all the Indian languages and all territories and all municipalities. I don't care if I go from the top, the north, Maine, all the way to California. I can understand every Indian on this damn landmass and don't need no interpreting help. But the white guy sheltered in the business suit that lives in his little area, in his little town, he's going to need me. Could you come with me? I don't want them to think that I'm coming in here to take their home away from me. And I want to protect myself. Yeah, I'll go with you. What you doing, sir? We're just trying to get money. I realize this is their territory and I'm crossing the line, but I was given this assignment to take an account of the people over here, but I don't want them to think that I'm coming here to take their land or their house. I will get killed. Can you come with me? Yeah, I'll come with you, sir. I'll explain to them what you're trying to do. I'm from the north. Miss Betty Jean, he's here. And you know, Betty Jean, I don't know what he want. Oh, Miss Betty Jean, he just want the names of the people in the house so that they could get money because they're in our jurisdiction too. And you know, the district maps, and he's just collecting a count of the people. Oh, all right. Because I put them in their comfort zone because of the way I look. All right. I'm walking around with this nice white guy in a business suit as a census taker. And I put Betty Jean in a comfort zone. Oh, girl, you look like you got any kin name and the Browns over there. That's who you look like. I'm like, no, ma'am. I'm actually all my family's from South Carolina, but I'm in the north. What? Say what? Girl, you look just like Betty Ann niece. That's what Lula Mae's saying. But she's comfort now because there's another Indian, Aboriginal in the presence with the census taker that put some comfort in Betty Ann. Oh, yeah, you definitely from up north. We don't talk like that. You sound like the white folk down low. You sound like the Aboriginal down in the north. That's what you have to understand. That's so important. Culture has never, ever left the landmass. the way we speak in each of these 50 states is from the Aborigine that's still there in those states. They talk like us. We don't talk like them. These are our accents. They came from other countries with their own accents. So when you hear those Southern accents, those are Aboriginal accents. Those aren't accents that were brought here by colonizers and we took them on. No. The Southern accent you hear is the Aboriginal accent of that area. I have family down south that don't sound shit like me when they talk. That's because they have the original Aboriginal accent of the South. And I was born in the North. And I have the original Aboriginal accent of the Northern Indians. So this is something very important that you must keep in your mind. That when we Aboriginal culture and ways of speaking never left. Now, what the white man did do is put together curriculums on an agreed way to communicate with each other. We got to figure out a way to communicate with these Indians so we can understand them and they can understand us. So we're going to break down the meaning of a sentence so we're on the same page when we're speaking. The brown rabbit ran down the street. Let's go back to little school, y'all. The brown rabbit ran down the street. Let's go back to little school. Let's go back. I'm going to write in big letters. All right. Let me make this bigger. And we'll color it. I'm taking me back to little school. We going back to little school. All right. Now, let me do a share screen. This is when it started because they just could not understand us. And so they had to come up with a way that we can understand each other. Because they constantly needed an interpreter to go around. So that we understood them and they understood us. So let's go there. How did they implement that in the educational system? All right, let's come to a common understanding on how we're going to speak. Let's go. Where are you? All right. Here we go, y'all. Let me take you way back. The brown rabbit ran down the street. All right. We need a complete sentence from these Indians because we would talk short. If I'm down south, yeah, that little brown rabbit ran down the street. Where's the rest of the fucking word? This is what the white guy is saying. Yeah, that little brown rabbit, you see him ran down the street, right? What did he say? I need an understanding of what this Indian guy is saying. I said, he said the exact same thing you said, sir. No, he left stuff out when he spoke. All I heard was the brown rabbit street. So let us go to school so we can make complete sentences, so we can have a complete understanding of what Billy Roy is saying down south. That's why I said, man, talk to this dude. Indian get front, man, talk to this dude. You didn't let me tell him. See, he did it again. He said, talk to this dude. What the hell did he say after that? He said, talk to this dude. He don't know what he's talking about. He said, I didn't hear that part. It's frustration. I didn't hear that part. He did it again. Man, I don't know what this white dude saying. He just talking about oh bullshit. What did he just say? He's mumbling. I understood him. How the hell do you understand what he's saying? I said, he said, this man don't know what he's talking about, all this bullshit. He's just running his mouth. How did you get all of that out of a little sentence? I know what Indians understand Indians. So they came up with an agreed way to teach our Aboriginals how to speak. The brown rabbit ran down the street. So now the white guys, okay, now I can clearly understand what Billy Roy said. Nothing's left out. You have your subject and you have your predicate. You have your noun. You have your verb. Okay? A complete sentence is a subject and a predicate. Now I understand what Billy Roy's saying. He said it fully. I know. He said the brown rabbit ran down the street. But yesterday he said the brown rabbit ran on down the street. Ran on down the street there. Why did he have ran on down? Why can't he just say the brown rabbit ran down the street? All the other stuff this Indian is saying is extra. He said the brown rabbit ran on down the street. Look, the brown rabbit ran on down the street. All right. Let's see if that makes sense when you read it. The brown rabbit ran on down the street. Why does he have to have on in there? And duh. No. Why does he have to have the brown rabbit ran on down the street? Take that out. And duh. No, it's not the, it's the. Now, that's better. The brown rabbit ran down the street. All the other stuff he put in there extra. And it needed to, this is you changing on how. Indians communicate with each other. Fixing the language so we're all on the same page. That's the white guy, you drove him nuts. Oh, he put in ran on down the street. Why you got to put on in there? Take it out. If you make that in a whole paragraph, you're not going to understand it. The brown rabbit ran on down the street, and then he ran over there in Little May Yard, and all that. If you put it in a paragraph, you're not going to understand what you're saying. Yes, I'm going to understand it. You're not. It's going to aggravate you because there's too many conjunctions. There's too many verbs in it. There's no commas. There's no commas. Now, now you have to understand when they were building those militia districts, this is across the states. And I think I have that in the, let me see. Let's look at it. Oh God. All right. Okay. I'm just looking up something. Give me a minute, you guys. And I'm gonna play one song while I'm looking for something, because then I'm gonna open the panel, because I'm taking this step by step. You have got to understand this. And you really have to understand what the hell is going on or went on. So give me a minute while I'm back here. I'm going to play one little song while I'm looking for something for you.
Long live Ed. Yeah. These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button, and then dress too par. Now they can't test the guards, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then. We thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off, told her don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's never about who's your favorite. Took my insecurities and made my future more secure. The way we moving, it's like we really been here before. The proof is in the progress from the year before. Furthermore, we wanted to further things more. They took another route, so what you think we kings for? No angel ever said, yo, who these wings for? Ain't no champion ever said, who these rings for? So don't question what God doing, who you live for. Start accepting who you are and what you do it for. Doing less, doing more, it's really either or. Meet them halfway when one close, here go another door. Here go your dreams, what you running for? Head full of steam, cause you want it, huh? But it's in your genes, you was born a star. Yeah, damn, we done came far. The blessings soon pay off. I don't get a day off. Feel like the playoffs, they like, when y'all gon' take off? Dill got laid off, now we focused on trademarks. We just making hits after hits, no aid off. Now they wanna eat off the same plate that I ate off. They really be brainwashed, I sold ain't for trade-offs. Listen to these verses, these are thoughts that I brainstorm. People do me wrong, but nowadays I just pray for them. I've been under pressure, you can't tell cause I stay calm. I need peace and quiet, all I hear is the rain falls. Now all I see is green like my name was Draymond. ISO the brand and you know we gon' rain on. Shout out to the fans from the jump that stayed on. Rolling every hour of the day till the pain gone. Now every time we drop, yeah, they know that is napalms.
All right. So, here we go. So now let's pull this up. Let's get with it. And I didn't come with a lot today, but that's because this is a lot to literally think about. It's a lot. You have to what we have to understand is our Southern bloodline compared to the North from the South and the Midwest. Our Southern bloodline, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties, were angry with us in the North because we took on the likings of foreigners in a way to establish how civilization will be controlled on the entire landmass. Yeah. They were angry with us. How dare you let foreigners come in and implement how we change our customs and act on our own landmass? How dare you let them do that to you and impose it on us? You come from the North to the South. The Northern Indians join in hands with foreigners to come to the South and implement civilization, taking away and striking away the customs on how the South was living. But don't forget about these Southerners and Midwesterns that joined in also to implement this whole way of civilization controlled on the land. This is why I say there are foreigners who look like us that are not us. This is why it is the most ignorant statement to make. And another thing you have to understand within these 50 states that still maintain the original Aboriginal culture of those specific areas are the same today. And the way you know that the people that look like you are not of that culture, you automatically know a person this color is not from the mainland. Mainland know every mainland Indian, whether that Indian has more of its white features or it just looks that Indian is mulatto. All mainland Indians know a mainland Indian. I don't give a damn if the Indian live in California or Maine. Every Indian on the mainland know the Indian of the land, mainland. You ain't got to know their name, but you know that vibe because it's a northern vibe, a southern vibe, a Midwestern vibe. You know the vibe. The minute you hear an unfamiliar accent, you know that's not, hey, that ain't mainland vibe. I don't give a damn what Garfield said, what he tried to conjure up, talking about we talk like, no, the fuck we do not. You do not talk like a mainland Indian. That is not our accent. Bullshit. Your accent is a dialect of Europe, France. Them ain't no damn mainland Indian dollar. We talk nothing alike. And guess what? You're the African that I don't understand. If I had to go around in Jamaica with the census taker, I'm like, you better go and get Dexter. Him know better than me. Me don't know them. I don't understand shit y'all say. You're not mainland. Violation. African. It's what you are. And you can continue to stand on it. I respect that. We're not the same. Yes, there were Aboriginals in the island of Jamaica, but you're not the Aboriginal. That's very clear. You proved it. This is why I said, and this whole time, in these 50 states, you better fucking believe Africans did not create these goddamn signs in the South. Give me a 1 if you know that and you stand on it and it's in your soul. Africans that are like Jabari and all of them wanting to be Africans. Africans, period, did not create these signs in the South. No. Prove to me that Africans from Africa created these signs and hung them up. Indians created these damn signs. The dark original ones. Full blood ones. Give me a 1. So you're not going to tell me that Africans came over here and created these signs. This sign. Prove it. There's a lot of shit you got to look at and understand who that damn Indian is. If you're not dealing with a white, you're dealing with an Indian in this time. This is what I've been trying to get you to understand. Let me tell you something. You look at this sign. Colored only, no whites allowed. That's the Indian talking. The full blood. They're not going to tell you. That is not an African who created this sign. How the hell African gonna come from over in Africa and open a restaurant, right? And hang up a sign and saying we don't serve white people when you know damn well real Africans love white folk. That wasn't going on over here, man. I'm telling you. White people created these signs. They put them up. Oh, that Indian was territorial. So was white folk. I don't want none of you colors drinking out our fountains. And that was understood. That's cool. I'm cool. That's fine. You got to understand the era that great granny grew up in. This is what she knew, the life she knew. Great granny the Indian, not the African. If it was a goddamn African during this time, when these signs was lit up, they would have put Africans only. Get your ass out of here. I want to let that sink in. This is what you got to indoctrinate yourself from. This sign would have said, and this time, this is in the 1900s. 1900s. The word Africa was spoken of in the 1900s. If African was had a restaurant, they would have put Africans only. It's that Indian that put this shit up. I'm gonna let you. I want you to get that in your head. This is the Indian speaking in their area, and what they was doing, and what they said, and who the hell they gonna serve. Ain't no African coming over here saying, "Oh, I ain't serving no white people." That's Indians doing that. Two signs can un-African the shit out of you. You listen here. Listen. Give it a minute.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So you don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true.
All right, y'all, that's enough. So, listen to me. There's, you know, and I know. Thank you, Adrienne. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see here. That's so kind of you, sis. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, understand this. Understand this. When there's an action, there is a reaction to every action. When you fucking with code today, I'm telling you, the behavior of that person that comes in YouTube, the behavior, listen, the behavior of that person that comes in YouTube, they're angry. Some of them are you that look like you. Shit. You can't explain it. That behavior comes quick. Let me tell you something. Somebody fucking up. They're stirring up shit. I gotta send you out among them to stop this. What's going on? Yeah, it's getting out of hand. Some of them look like us. They gotta send somebody who look like your ass out there amongst you. They gotta send them out. I'm telling you, a lot of boomers, a lot of us boomers. I'm not a boomer. A lot of X generation, Y generation, Z generation. You got to catch this shit. And I'm highly recommending that you watch the series Dirty D. Dirty D on Tubi. And see how this shit work. They send your own among you. Yeah, it's graphic with all the sexual acts because it consists of our lifestyle and our culture in our hoods. But just watch it. It's a lot of screwing and having sex going on in that, but that's what that lifestyle's about. But they send folks that look like you to embrace with you, to collect the information they need to stop what's going on. And it has always been that way. They've always. He can't walk his white ass in there and collect information. He got to send, they got to do what they always have. You got to understand this. Watch that series, please. If you ain't doing nothing today, because it's Sunday. Watch the series The Dirty D. It's Detroit. It's about Detroit. But the purpose of watching it is to see how they send in us to invade. They always needed the Indian to go around and embrace among the Indians in the same locality and bring back the information so that they can do what they got to do to clamp you down and then lock your ass up in the reservation prison because you're doing an operation which consists of selling drugs, prostitution, money laundering, and you're in the way of the government's ability to make their money doing the same fucking thing. You're in the way as Pookie running shit in his nightclub. But he making that good money with chicks. Chicks, sisters are getting paid under the table. They getting 15 G's for stripping on the poles. And we got to break that up. We got to put them in the inferior position. We cannot allow these people to live comfortable lifestyles in our 50 states. No. We got to lock up Pookie, Ray Ray, and Little Man from running this operation where the people are happy and the girls are buying these fly-ass wigs and fly-ass clothes and paying their rent and making their ends meet. We got to stop that. We got to get them all in jail. And I need you to help me because you look like them and you are them. And you and I work hard on our jobs. And these people are just shaking their ass on poles and making thousands. We got to stop that. So we can put up our own weed dispensaries across the 50 states and make the money. Hell, we gotta stop them because they're doing something in our no. They're messing with our money, man. We got to put them in jail. We got to stop this shit. They're doing too good. Get them in jail, and we'll start opening up dispensaries across the 50 states. But we need you to do it. But you fucked up because you got one of the strippers pregnant. And she was always your girlfriend even before I put you on this damn assignment. And I know you're in love with her. Now we got to get your ass. Huh. They always needed that Indian to go amongst the other Indians in the same locality. Let's fucking go there. And then let's just talk about this for a minute. You only see no whites allowed, no colors allowed, no colors allowed, whites only, colors only. This is only 2 color of people on this whole fucking mainland continent. All right. If there's only 2 color of people putting these fucking signs up, with that kind of power on this landmass, I'm serious. On some serious shit. If it's only 2 color of people on this whole landmass within these 50 states putting up these signs, where the fuck is the Indian? Where's the fucking Indian? And that's where they're like, oh shit. Fuck. We forgot. The fucking Indian. The Indian, this is their fucking land. The Indian. The colored was the Indian the whole fucking time. The Negro, the colored, was the Indian the whole fucking time. Because that's the only motherfucker that got all these racial identities. I can't, this is why I said, when you see that sign, I left that sign up for a reason. No whites. No coloreds. Hey, is anybody gonna make the Indian a fucking bacon and egg sandwich? Where's the Indian? Is the Indian gonna get a bacon and egg? Oh shit, we forgot. Fuck. We gotta create a fucking Indian. Shit. All this time, these signs up, all on Indian land. In all the 50 states. You forgot. You forgot. Somebody's the Indian. On this, all these states. The whites got their signs up. The colors got their signs up. Where the fucking Indian? Yo. Oh, shit. They're going to know that the color's the Indian. Oh, my God. Shit. Fuck. They're going to know. We got to fix it. We got to insert that Indian in there somehow. We got to make it. We can't let them know. Shit. We fucked up. We fucked up. Let's go there. Let's go there. Where are you? Let's go there, y'all. Let's go there. They only talked about 2 color of people when it came to this fucking 1890 census that was reconstructed. Let's go, y'all. Ha! Let's go. A serious difficulty was met in the answer to, are you an Indian? Under the laws of the 5 tribes or the nations of the Indian Territory, a person white in color and features is frequently an Indian. A person white in color and features. Being so, by remote degree of blood or by adoption, the only way white people are Indians is by a remote degree of blood or by adoption. Damn. So you had a great granny. You white, you had a great granny or great grandpa that was an Indian. You got a great granny or great grandpa that's an Indian. But goddamn, okay, now we're going to get to the Negroes. Negroes are frequently met who speak nothing but Indian languages and are Indians by tribal law and custom. That's just the fucking law and custom. What is custom? Every behavior or every accent you have in these goddamn here 50 states, the other part of the land. I'm not fucking with y'all today. We don't, the Negroes, they don't speak nothing but Indian languages. Yeah, I know. Why is that? Now, like I said, the difficulties surrounding the taking of the census were augmented by the fact that in enrolling the Indians, it frequently occurred that it was necessary to equip 2 and sometimes 3 interpreters to accompany the enumerator to converse with the Indians in the same fucking locality. Now, question. I got a question. Let me stop. Hold up. I got a question. How come they didn't get the people with white features being sold by a degree of blood or adoption to walk around with the census takers to communicate with the other Indians in the same locality? Because the white people didn't speak nothing but Indian language. They was raised based on their white European culture. That's why you couldn't take the Indian with white features around in the same locality. You had to use the Negro. We know who the fucking Indian is. You got to use the Negro. You always had to. Don't play with me. It was the Negro they had to take around, and they still do the same shit today. He can't flow his ass in the hood, and the Indians ain't gonna know his white old features. Ain't no damn agent. It's easier to send the Negro who speaks this nothing but Indian language to hang out in the club with all the other Indians that speak to interpret. Gotta do. Gotta take him around. You go out to the club, Pookie. Who is more likely going to the club? The white guy, the guy with white features, or the Negro that speaks nothing but Indian languages? Who is Pookie, who own the club, going to embrace with and feel more comfortable talking to? That's all I got to say. And you know, when we go back here, let's pull this down. When you go back here, it's only literally speaking about 2 fucking people. White people with white features and Negroes. All Negro is a description. This is not an African going around and the same locality to converse with the other Indians. That's not, no, you don't. Negro is a skin color. It is a Spanish word. It means black, dark skin. If that's the case, where's the Indian? Where's the Indian? Who's the Indian? Why didn't they give a description of, did they give a description of the Indian, this bitch? Yeah, they gave a description. They also gave a law. It's clearly understood that the Negro is the Indian. That's the fucking tribe law. But, you know, white people are Indians, you know, by a remote degree of blood. Or they could be adopted, because I love this white person and I think she should be part of our family. So we're going to adopt her. That's the only way you're Indian. And you better fucking believe that the reason why your remote blood makes you an Indian with your white features is because you slept with the law. You slept with the law. The law. You slept with the law. That's how you became an Indian with your white features. You slept with the law. African not mentioned nowhere in this shit. Now, I want you to come on the panel. I'm going to open up my thing. I'm going to open up my segment. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to open up the segment, and I welcome you to come up here and bring that Indian with you when you come up here. Bring him with you so I can see him. That's why I'm opening this up. Don't fucking come on my panel talking about no racial integrity act and all that other bullshit. Just come on the panel and bring me the Indian. Please. Come up here with the Indian that census is talking about. Please come up. I'm going to stop this and play a song and wait for you to come up to the panel with the Indian. I'd appreciate it. I will put the link in the chat. Come up with the Indian. You're going to get kicked real quick today. You better come up with that damn Indian. Here's the link.
Then they put you on trial. I was just a young child. Gave you 25 to life, all these years gone by. And you never asked why. All you did was pray to God, all you did was wait your time. Now you about to come home, and I'm about to have a child. It's gonna be worthwhile. It's gonna be worthwhile. Remember nights I cried, now we at the finish line. You was only 21 with a son on the run, no. You was living in the jungle. Got charged for a murder and some weed and a gun, no. You was moving like Rumbo. Did your time like a champ, never rumble. You was on the wrong path, you was young, though. You ain't never let it break you, stay humble. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see the fire and the pain in my mama's eyes. I was just a little boy, I always wondered why. Cause you couldn't help raise me by her side. I was taught to speak the truth and never tell a lie. But I know you wasn't capable of homicide. You was just a real nigga, always down to ride. I thank God that he gave you a second time. You got caught up in the field, but you still alive. For the fam, yeah, Yeah, I know you never jeopardized. All the time that you did it only made you wise. Collect call 30 seconds, yeah, I love you. Learned a lot of life lessons from my uncles. This a letter to my pops up top, and it's still fuck cops. I don't eat pork chops, no. ISO, we got the city on lock, it's going down, young job, yeah. Then they put you on trial. I was just a young child. Gave you 25 to life, all these years gone by. And you never asked why. All you did was pray to God, all you did was waste your time. Now you about to come home, and I'm about to have a child. It's gonna be worthwhile, it's gonna be worthwhile. Remember nights I cried, now we at the finish line. All these trials, tribulations, all these trials, situations, trials we be facing, times we was waiting, now we at the finish line.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, my sister from another mister. What up, though?
What's good? What you got?
Okay, I'm gonna bring
Did you bring
you
that
the.
Indian? Did you bring
Yes,
the
I
Indian
am.
up here?
I've told you this before. My stepfather from Chattanooga, bootlegger, 100% full blood Blackfoot, running around Lookout Mountain. What's that? What's that? Tennessee? Tennessee?
Tanasi.
Okay, I'm through. Now, can I ask you about just one? I'm not going to divert the conversation. I'm saying the context of the conversation for today's lecture from my queen mother: convert or die. Who is doing that today in 2023? Who is forcing the Indian, the American, misclassified Negro, color? What did Charisse, Diamond's our girl's best friend, color red? Thank you for that enlightening thought. Did you see them put that in the chat, Sister
No,
Bessie?
I don't be paying attention all the time to the chat, but
they put colored and said color red. Big up, sisters. so you know, a lot of times when we divert things and rearrange them. Now, let me just comment briefly on the accents. The dirty South. You remember how things evolved with the so-called East Coast versus West Coast beef, and people keep putting the spin on where rap originated in the boogie down Bronx or Brooklyn, whether it's a New York thing, blah 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 blah. Okay, but when it went down south, and you started hearing stuff like T.I. out of Atlanta or Nelly out of St. Louis, you know what I mean? When it went south in its flavoring, it returned home, basically, right?
right.
I mean, when we're talking about the history of rap, we talking about the Godfather of Soul? That's Macon, Georgia, isn't it?
Yes,
James
it is.
Brown is Macon, Georgia Creek nigga Indian.
Correct.
When we talking about Pig Meat Martin, who's Pig Meat? You know? When we talking about what was the name from the one that would always get sassy with Fred Sanford and Sanford and Son. Remember her?
Oh, Reedy.
And she was a stand-up comedian too.
Oh, you talking
just
about
like
Esther.
Mom's Esther.
Esther.
Mom's Mabley.
Yep.
Doing the dozens. Signified Monkey. You feel me? Rudy
Yep.
Ray Moore. All this is Southern origins.
Facts.
When we talking about doing a doo-wop on the street corner, they claiming it came from Chicago and Detroit. No, nigga, that's northern Mississippi and northern Louisiana.
Yeah, but let me say this. Let me say this. It's a fact what you're saying. All of us Aborigines, whether we're in the North or the South, it comes from us, period. Point
from
blank.
The soil. From the soil.
From the soil. It's from the soil. I'm not picking North. I'm not picking South. I'm not picking West Coast. We got to understand.
Oh, no. I wasn't saying that to differentiate.
No.
I was saying, you know.
Go ahead.
No, as far as the language is concerned, I just want to deal with just some quick facts. Y'all chop it up how you choose. The same lying, two-faced, forked tongue that our ancestors told us the white man speak with forked tongue. Noah Webster said he compiled 26 Aboriginal American Indian languages to create American English, not
Correct.
British English. That's why they have an accent.
Correct.
That's why they are different.
Correct.
And American is American. That's my whole point, my sister. Go ahead. Y'all chop it up. Golden Jaguar.
And that's why I went through the 50 states. That's why I went through these 50 states to say that when you see our people in these states, all right, in these area of these states, they're maintaining the Aboriginal accent. Nothing's changed. These ain't white man accents. These are ours accents. But Golden, you got the Indian. What's up?
I'm just listening, learning. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm just glad you out here teaching on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here too, but I really want our people to understand that the Indian always been hidden. Even on that paper, that shit is funny as hell. They automatically made the white person the Indian because they by a remote degree to bud. Okay, now define the Indian because your law is defining it legally.
Define adoption.
Right.
Define adoption. Now,
I'm
in the definition of American, they told you they would steal your shit.
Right. I'm just want to get back to the document. You said how white people, you distinguished how white people became Indian. Okay. But then you legally defined who the Indian was. You legally defined it. So what they did was made the white person the Indian.
Identity theft.
Just based on them being Indian by a remote degree of blood, meaning a relative. And all it takes is one goddamn drop.
And
then you said the white person was the Indian by adoption. Well, goddamn. That was so nice of our ancestors to do.
To
adopt white people as Indians.
Sister Bethany, can I ask a question?
When I'm talking. You cut me off in the middle of me speaking. That's just like crazy. It's like when y'all do that, are you trying to stop me from getting our audience to have this thought in their heads? Because now I got to start all over again. It's like nobody wants this to be clearly understood by our community. When you cut me off, it's like, oh, I got a question at the back. In the middle of me dropping this to my people, again, I'm going to go back. You defined white people as being Indian by a remote degree of blood. So there's an ancestor up there somewhere that's an Indian. And then you said, oh, you're also the white person is the Indian because of you adopted them. Now you went and legally defined how the Negro was an Indian. You legally defined that the Negro is the Indian. There was no how come there was no blood quantum needed for the Negro? For you to define the Negro as the Indian, there was no mentioning of blood quantum. But it's the law that the Negro is the Indian because that's the fucking truth. That's who the Indian is. But in your 50 states, you decided to make the white person the Indian because they were more. That was the only reason why you were going to accept doing business with them. I can't deal with no nigga. But the white people, we can make contract with the tribes. Their skin, I can't deal with niggas. I can't deal with Indians. So the white person, all right, we can work with y'all because you kind of look like us. You look like us. You got our features. So I'm going to do business with you. But we all know by law, the Indian is the nigga. We know this. So now, this is why I said, these are the Indians putting these damn signs up. Ain't no African coming over on the mainland in America and put these damn signs up. No. When you come over here on the mainland in America, this is who you're dealing with on the mainland. You're dealing with coloreds, who are the Indians, and you're dealing with white people. That's it. Now you got it, Jaguar.
Okay, my question is, if they supposedly the superior race, how is it that if you got one drop of black blood, that makes you black? If they have superior genes, shouldn't their genes cancel out that black blood?
You know the question answers itself, Golden Jaguar. Now, they had it put in law to differentiate passing Negro. They were passing for what? They weren't passing to be Negroes. They weren't passing to be colored. They weren't passing to so-called be black. So what were they passing to be? And how was you going to differentiate them from the truly superior white person?
Because my question is like, well, how is there a such thing as a pale-faced Indian? How are y'all Indian, but by y'all logic, y'all the superior race? So your white blood should be canceling out any melanated genes, according to y'all logic.
Now, you know that's illogical in even that being their logic, their own science. And I know you know this, Golden Jaguar. What does genetic recessive mean? That's a scientific statement, by the way. What does genetic recessive mean?
It means it lacks melanin. It
What does albinism mean?
lacks melanin.
What's superior about that?
Scientifically, absolutely nothing.
So these science pamboo-boos, they're trying to convince Negroes to spit in a cup to become what? To become Kunta? And once you bow down, submit, become subservient in your mind that you are now Kunta from Africa, we're going to beat you into the Christian Negro Toby. Say it how you want to say it, brother. That's just my observation. What say you, bro?
But like you said before, Alibama, they're not telling any of the so-called JEWs to spit in a cup and prove that they're from one of the 12 tribes of Judah.
But they, as an entire people, are converts. That's in their history. They don't. If you would ask an Ish person up front, are they Ish by birth or conversion? 95% of these pale-skinned people calling themselves Ashkenazi Jews are converts to a religion. They are ethnically white Eastern Europeans. Aren't they mostly Polish, Russian, German, etc.? You notice they don't even talk about Huguenots or Sephardics out of Spain and France. Why not? So which Jews are they?
And they definitely not from Ethiopia. I mean, Ethiopians are some of the oldest Jews on the planet.
Do you see how they genetically prove, allegedly, them to be the tribe of Dan? Why there's no more discussion about the Ethiopian Falasha Jew? What happened to that conversation? If you're going to use genetics in proving someone is an African, is there more of an example of an Ethiopian